In this video, I discover activities in Paris I've never done before, which says a lot since I've lived and traveled there for almost 40 years. This place is fascinating, a lot more rich with things to see and do than I had thought. I'm in the basement of this amazing language museum and was just given a tour of all the amazing things there are to learn. I don't think a day would be enough to see it. This is the Rosetta Stone. Actually, it's a copy of it. I guess the original is in England. And they have these computer stations where you can learn. You have 6 different languages, which are the main languages of the United Nations, and you can pick one, and when you click on the language of choice, then you get more choices of what to learn, and you plug into a device like this to listen in. There's even information on why languages went extinct, and what a fascinating, there's just fascinating information like diversity. Should we have language diversity, and how if we didn't, it would take away from people's cultures and histories. There's even the etymologies of languages. Upstairs, I listened to a video about the pieces of other languages that are not part of American languages or English language, and things like directionality, where we say left, right, straight. Those words don't exist in some languages. They use instead north, south, east, west. And apparently, so in English, if we have a verb, I just learned today, it's impossible to express an action you're doing without also expressing a time. I am walking, I did walk, I will walk. You can't just say walking independent of the time, whereas apparently in Chinese, they don't have that time dependence. So a couple of really interesting facts I've learned here, and highly recommend a visit if you have time, but you will need some time to really see everything and get to the heart of the museum. Imagine this, how cool, all of the invented languages. So like Klingon, there's an actual, if you wanted to do the Hamlet play in Klingon, it tells you the English version, and then in Klingon. This is the Lord of the Rings, that language. This is just amazing. Really a fascinating museum. Then you have the creation of codes, and this is the machine that was used by the Germans in World War II to send codes during the war of their plans. And I think it was an American or an English person that discovered how to decipher the codes, and so the war ended 2 years earlier than it might otherwise have. And the creation of Braille, due to, I guess, a child poked his eye with a tool that made him blind, and also impacted his other eye, and gave him the idea of creating this Braille language. His last name, of course, was Braille, that is today used for people who can't see. The fascinating Mundolingua Museum is located at 10 Rue Servandoni, and I highly recommend a visit. Another place in Paris I'd never been is the Gallerie Dior. I went with my mom and we got a timed ticket. You usually have to wait online even though you have a specific time to enter, but because my mom is a little older, they let us bypass waiting online and go right in. This room was one of my favorites. I loved seeing all of the different beautiful dresses. As you wander the museum, you learn both historical information about Dior and starting his fashion business, and also about how the clothes were made, and you get to admire everything you see, of course. One thing to note, there are parts of the museum that are only accessible by staircase. So if you're with someone that has any kind of walking issue, they may not be able to see the exhibit in its entirety. On the other side of Paris is this wonderful weekend market, a real neighborhood gem. It's at the Place Maubert Mutualité. And little fun fact, when I lived and worked in Paris in the 90s, I used to live right next door.
Bonne journée.
Whether it's your first or 100th visit to Paris, everyone always loves a great ride in the Bateau Mouche. You may know that Notre Dame suffered a horrible fire in 2019, which impacted the structure, and they've been rebuilding it ever since. Happily, they are almost done repairing it, and it should be opening quite soon. Another first for me was being in Paris when they were hosting the World Cup rugby match. Congratulations to the South African Springbok. So while I was there, I went to the rugby village and got myself a t-shirt and wandered around. This year's match was particularly rough for me because I love both South Africa and New Zealand. So I had a tough time and decided to cheer them both on. On our way to the airport, we passed by this random models photo shoot. And that drive to the airport is always so beautiful when they head right through the center of Paris. So enjoy the streets of Paris on our way to Charles de Gaulle Airport. Please hit the like button, and if you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you subscribed to my channel. See you on the next video.